Hello everybody, welcome back to Freddy Plays. My name is Freddy and this is a 7 Days to Die kind of thought experiment more than anything, to be fair. Anyone who watches my channel and has seen me live stream with old mate Brad is probably fairly aware that I am our group's resident farmer and gatherer of food, because in 7 Days to Die... Hey, get out of here, zombie. Jerk. Interrupted my tutorial. 7 Days to Die, one of the mechanics is hunger and thirst. You've got to find or produce enough food and beverage to survive. Otherwise, your character, over time, begins to suffer penalties to stamina, and it can get a bit messy. So, I kind of thought to myself, what if I were able to build kind of a trap pit where wild game might catch itself for me, thus eliminating the need to spend hours of game time hunting. So here you can see I have cleared away a little bit of land, and I am using the cheats here, to be fair. Not the cheats, the command console. And I built myself what looks kind of like a giant swimming pool. And in a second we're going to jump in here with the Super Digger, I think it's called, which is a dev tool you can access through the command menu. Basically it one-shots any block and just gets rid of it. Really handy for these kinds of little thought experiments. So in the game, meat is fairly ubiquitous. There's lots of animals cruising around to kill and eat. And they are heavily featured in a lot of recipes. You can build a farm through farm plots and grow potatoes and pumpkins and corn and mushrooms and all sorts of berries and coffees and things like that. But meat you have to find from the source. So here the plan is build a little pond sort of style creation, and then we're going to test it here with some chickens. It gets very chickeny very quickly, and I immediately run into the first problem. I think we spawn in like 40 chickens here. I just click like crazy, and they spawn and stack up on each other, and they're all like, hey, how's it going, chicken friends? Oh shit, there's a human, run! So my thought process was, they may not immediately find the only frickin' path out, but they quickly showed me that wasn't going to be the case at all. Zombies, apparently like animals, track to the nearest, quickest available path, which will get them, in this case for the poor chickens, to safety. So, take two. We reset, we get rid of the set of stairs, which I thought would be aesthetically pleasing, and I sling in a single block just to see, because obviously I can use that to hop in and out. Oh, I ended up with deer butt in my face. I think there's actually a spawn delay where they don't begin their programming for like 2-3 seconds, but then they quite orderly line up and escape my little pool of doom. So this was clearly going to be a bit trickier. So we taking it up a notch. We throw in a door. I figure animals can't work doors, right? And I see them immediately beeline for the door, and I'm like, oh no, they're getting out. But no, they've spotted up a little nook that I've left of remaining dirt, and they're using that to calmly and orderly file out over the top of the fence. So here we get rid of any excess dirt that's sticking out, just to make sure that they can't do that again. These two guys didn't get the memo. Here's me figuring it out. Oh shit, there's like a little lip of dirt. So we try again. And this time, it goes a little extra pear-shaped because I accidentally spawned in some bears! Luckily, I've got fly mode and god mode and all that sort of stuff on. But they quickly sort of took to each other. So I started thinking, hey, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm the one freaking them out. So I took a long step back and spawned in some critters. Spawned in about 30 rabbits and watched them scatter. And it doesn't really pan out the way I was kind of hoping it would. I really thought a few more would run into the pit and become trapped, but for the most part they do like a 180 away from it and run. So I tinker around with spawning them in at a few different spots because they do spawn where your reticule is aiming. I spawn in a handful of dough, and again here you can see they just kind of bail. So at this point I'm like, okay, I'm definitely the problem. So I flick myself to invisible so the animals cannot see me. We'll throw in some more creatures here and see if we get any better results. We're going to throw in a bunch of different creatures. I think the first few that fall in just fall in by nature of how they're sort of all dumped on top of each other, so we won't count those. But you can see here a few of those wild boar. They do just kind of flop in by themselves. See, this guy here is taking a stroll, up, I'm stuck in the pit. So here I'm thinking theoretically, if you've got the time, it could be a viable way to catch the occasional creature. I'm not saying this is by any stretch a very economical way of doing it. Here we spawn in a handful of zombies just to see if they'll attack the structure. Keeping in mind I'm invisible, so they go about their day not knowing I'm here. A few of them manage to jump out. None of them seem to go after the structure. But I am invisible, so they're not trying to path to me. Here I just spawn a shitload of any old zombie to see what happens. It's interesting. I think this warrants a bit more experimenting on my part, so I'll have a bit of a tinker, and we'll see how we go. But I think with a bit of tweaking, this could work. So stay tuned. But until next time, guys, I'm Freddy, and this has been Freddy Plays Games.